want to share a chair on the other side of Cal, you can. Somebody can sit with me too. You have room for Luke too, Chase? You guys good? Good done? Yeah, just I want to start with just a thank you to Mississippi State and everybody involved here. It takes a lot of work to run one of these events, and they do a first-class job. Played in quite a few of them, a few places, and they do as good a job as any. They're great hosts. It's a great place to play, and they get complained to a lot about what people don't like, but they don't get thanked very much. So just want to say thank you to that. Great game by Coach Deggs and his team. Two top 25 teams. Played really good baseball. I mean, if you look at some of the defensive plays they made in that game, I challenge our guys to do two things today, to go out there and attack the strike zone like we talked about yesterday and be tough outs with 2 strikes. And, man, we did both of those things. Just looking at the stat sheet, 2 true freshmen, 0 walks in 8 innings pitched, and I don't know the 2-strike base runners, but there were a lot of them all the way until, obviously, 2 outs in the 9th inning. So losing stinks, but if you're going to go out, that's how you go out.
Cal, what are the emotions right now? He kind of mentioned it. They filled up the zone, no walks today, but it just feels like that's baseball. Sometimes they hit it hard.
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed enough to play in 3 of these things, and losing never really gets any easier, so the emotions are always just kind of just pretty depressing, honestly. Like, you just got to keep going, though. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it at the end of it, and they played better than us, so you just got to tip the cap and move on.
Cal, what can you say about Pappenbrock? He came on, y'all got to him at first, but after that, he did pretty well. Just talk about what made him effective.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of just throwing a little bit of a bowling ball sinker, so it was a little bit tough to just get the barrel to it. And I just don't think our guys did a good enough job of pulling him in or getting on time or whatever it was, but we just didn't do a good enough job against him tonight.
How proud were you of the pitching staff and how they kind of listened to coach's command and foot up the zone as much as possible?
Yeah, I'm super proud of the pitching staff all year, honestly. I mean, you go back to the beginning of the year and then the struggles that they kind of had towards the beginning of the year, and then you get deeper in the year and they just, really get behind each other, and then you see a lot of younger guys stepping up, so it's really awesome for this team to see guys like that just kind of start to find their roles and just get after guys, and I'm really excited for the future of this team, especially with the younger guys that we have on the mound.
It's important we recognize what this kid did. He's talking about next year. This guy was our starting left fielder last year and had a knee injury to start the year and just never quite settled in to get going. And I tell you what, most juniors in his shoes would not have been ready to play this week. And not once did he complain, not once did he worry about anything but what he could control. And all of a sudden, he was darn near the hero that carried us to the next game. That's the type of team we have, the type of kid he is, and that needs to be recognized. Thanks, Cal. You're good. Don't run you out of here. You can get out of here. Proud of you.
Coach, you kind of touched on it, and you said it last night that if you're going to lose, it was going to be being aggressive in the zone. Is that just an ugly part of the game that you can do what you want to do and they just hit the ball?
Yeah, they hit 4 balls out of the yard, and that's a team that typically doesn't hit a lot of home runs. Obviously, they have good players. But, yeah, would we have liked to work to the edges a little bit better and keep another ball or 2 in the yard? Absolutely, but what do? Shortstop made a couple of big league plays, lined out a couple of times. Baseball, we play Louisiana 10 times. We're both going to get a bunch of wins, and the other day was our day. Today was their day, and you got, again, 2 teams that I feel like are hands down top 30 teams in the country. Somebody's going to go home today, and I think whoever would have gone home would have felt pretty good. They sold out for it.
I know I'll acknowledge you're probably not the guy to talk about this a lot, but it seemed like the strike zone might have been a little inconsistent. Do you feel like the width or the height of it might have done a disservice to your guys' approach at the plate?
I don't have any idea. I'll look at TrackMan reports. I know they try to put the best guys out there, and they do the best job they can. So typically over the course of 60 games, they help you, they hurt you. I know those guys are working their tails off.
Jordan, it may be hard to answer this now, but just your trajectory of your program continuing to build, could you speak to that?
Yeah, it's actually not real hard to answer because I know where we're going. 3 years ago, we were picked last in this league, and we've won 16 or more league games every year. And I think it's just us in West Virginia that have done that. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to sustain success, not just in our league, but you look around the country, half the World Series didn't get here this year. I looked the other day, 12 teams have played on Saturday night in the winners bracket nationally the last 2 years, and we're one of those 12 teams. We're going to keep going, and it's going to keep being tough, but that's where we want it to be in Cincinnati. We're gritty, we're tough, we got the right kids. They're going to keep walking away from more money and more fame at bigger schools, and they're going to keep grinding, and then we're going to see what they do, like Jack and Nate, going to be high draft picks and going to play big league baseball at some point. So I know what the trajectory is because we're right in the middle of it. And 3 years ago, we had to sell a vision to people that Cincinnati actually belonged in the Big 12. There's no question about it now. And that is such a credit to so many people. John Cunningham and Dr. Lucky just deciding that at a place where it's probably hard to make baseball a priority, they want it to be. And then a staff that cares like crazy about our kids, doing that day in and day out. And then a group of players, like I mentioned with Cal. We've had the least guys in the Big 12 in the portal last year. We had, I think, the second least in the Power 4. We started 6 freshmen, sophomores. We had 2 freshmen pitch the entire game today. We're doing it different than most. And I'm not saying anybody else is doing it wrong, but we've got a blueprint for how we want to do it, and we're just getting that blueprint going. I said it on the air yesterday. There's not a better place on planet Earth to live than Cincinnati, so I just can't wait to see what the future holds. And it's going to be difficult. We're going to have ups and downs, but we're going to keep playing in these games. And I said it last year, but Dave Kylitz, my absolute mentor, he's on the Mount Rushmore of college baseball. If you ask people that have been around it, and I promised him I would not leave Mount Pleasant, Michigan, unless it was a place that could go to Omaha. That's where this place will go at some point. I really believe that. And if we don't, we're going to die trying.
You had mentioned last year at the Tennessee Regional that there might have been a pitching depth issue and you just needed more guys. Does it feel at all like it's the same, or was it just execution and you can kind of go with the
No,
same
we're
guys?
a lot closer. I mean, listen, they hit the ball out of the park. I mean, that was not, we weren't good enough to get them out. It's they were good enough to hit us. I mean, if you look at, those are 2 true freshmen. And so when you talk about pitching depth, how much better are those guys going to be next year? We had a lot of bullets left for the day. Now, we want to keep building that. Everybody needs more pitching, but it's better than it was last year, and it's going to be even better next year.
You retained most of your core after last season. Where's your confidence level at in being able to bring back guys like Quentin and Derek and Enzo?
I believe that those guys, we want what's best for those guys. That's what I'll say. I want Derek and Quentin and Enzo and every guy in our program to be wherever they're going to be the happiest. I believe they think that's Cincinnati, and I don't think dollar signs are going to change that for them. If there is a place they can be happier, I will help them get in the portal and get to those places. I think they know that. I think they know how special our program is, and I think those guys will be wearing Cincinnati uniforms next year. Appreciate it, guys.